Hello and welcome back to A Plague Tale Requiem. We're in the final chapter, post credits. We finished the chapter King Hugo last time and it was very emotional. A lot happened and I was kind of amazed that it ended so abruptly when the credits came up on screen. And then processing all my feelings about it, and then that glimmer of excitement when I saw that there was another chapter left to play. So I guess this is like a kind of epilogue chapter, the final chapter, still feeling all the feels from last time. So kind of nervous. I'm kind of nervous to start because I know this is the end. So are you ready? Let's go. Chapter 17, Legacy of the Rune Family. Amicia and Lucas managed to reach Hugo, who gave himself to the macula and was on the brink of destroying everything. Hugo used the last spark of humanity within himself to convince his sister and Lucas to kill him before it's too late. Despite the pain, Amicia and Lucas have to take the tragic decision to end Hugo's suffering and save the world he loved. Yeah. 1 year? There's a time jump of 1 year? Oh my god. Straight into it. It's so beautiful. Amicia looks so different with her short hair and her fur cloak.
Feels higher each time.
Sophia's here.
Oh, Sophia. You came! Of course. I wouldn't miss this. Careful, I smell like a goat. Well, then welcome to your land, goat. How do you feel? Are you ready? I guess so. No point in wasting time then. Wait!
Where are we going? Where are we going? Where's Lucas? Get to the horses.
Let's go. As you wish. I left the horses up there.
Look at us.
So, what have you been up to these last months?
Walking, fixing the house, trying to exhaust myself.
Does it work?
It's better. Yes.
Good.
Oh, I
You
love
had me
this
pretty
place.
worried, you know.
I'm fine, Sophia. It's been a year.
She been
Already?
on her
And-
own.
How's
On
the
her
business
own.
going?
Good. Doing more legal trading these days.
Oh, what happened?
Well, I just want to live longer.
Really?
I like a quiet sea better than a storm. Speaking of which, we'll depart tomorrow.
Great. Great.
Where are we
Is our
going?
alchemist coming?
Lucas? Oh, no. He's still on the road. Studying.
All
Okay.
by himself. They grow
He's
up
on the
so
road.
fast.
He needed this.
Whew. Getting chilly.
Let's pick up the pace a bit.
Okay, let's run. This place is so beautiful. Wow. I love running through woods in games. It's, I don't know,
So,
something so
do you know where we can put you ashore?
Not yet,
exciting about it.
but I think I'll know when I come across the signs.
Of the macula.
Yes. It leaves marks on things and people. I think I can find where the next carrier and protector will rise.
Oh,
The next plague.
that's what we're looking for.
I want to set the path for them, like Aelia did for us.
No use telling you just to rest, then.
None.
Fine.
Oh, look at the waterfall.
It smells so good. And the quiet.
Yes. I'll miss it.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense that she's living up here. It's so beautiful up here and peaceful. Can't believe it's been a year. Horses!
Getting there.
I hope we get to see Lucas again.
Boys, this is Amicia. Be kind to her. It's a special day.
Horses.
Hi.
Yeah, they mentioned in one of the previous chapters about getting horses, and I was kind of like, oh, maybe we're going to get to ride horses in this game. And now we do.
Can you give me some time? I have one last thing to do.
Take as much as you want. My back still hurts from the road.
No storm coming?
You're the only one I see.
It won't take too long.
I really love her dark blue fur-lined
It's going to
cloak.
be all right.
So beautiful. Where am I going? Reach the summit. Okay.
No.
Reach the summit? Oh my god, how far up are we going? I mean, the summit, but you know what I mean. I meant more like, how long is it going to take her to get to the summit? Where do we go? This way? Oh, this scenery
The
is
sea will
epic.
look so flat compared to this.
Yeah. Like, these are proper mountains. Okay, up we go. Oh my god, the mountains just look amazing from up here. Oh. And look at that, like, fog sweeping through the valley, the mist and the shadows and everything. Okay, keep going. Up we go. Up this way? This way? Oh god. Shimmying. More shimmying.
Come on.
Please don't fall.
You're getting there.
And if it's been a year, that means she's keeping her hair short. On purpose, you know.
It's me. I'm coming in.
Oh. What are all these weird birds?
It's going to be all right.
What is this place? What kind of birds are these? Is this Hugo's grave? It's covered in flowers. Yeah, that makes sense. Oh. And it's surrounded by birds' nests. What kind of birds are they? Falcons? Eagles? Ugh. This scenery is just so gorgeous. All right. Let's do it.
Hey, They didn't used to come here before. I always knew you'd be good at making friends. I wasn't sure I was ready, but Sophia's here.
The Rune medallion.
I'm sorry. Why is it so hard?
She's the only one left.
We never backed down, right? We held. May this earth remember how much you loved it. May it remember all you gave to protect it. I remember. And I won't let it be forgotten.
That's the real end. A very short chapter. I didn't know how long it was going to be. That's the proper end, the final credits. Wow. Oh, I was hoping we'd see Lucas again in the epilogue. Oh, we never got to ride those horses. Oh. Still, I'm really happy that we got one more chapter to just kind of show us afterwards what happened afterwards, because the ending of the last episode of the last chapter was so abrupt. So I'm really glad we got this kind of epilogue chapter. That's the end. The end of Plague Tale Requiem. I thoroughly enjoyed this game. I thought it was a great sequel to the first one. The new mechanics that they introduced just like improved upon the first game. Like it was so... Yeah, it was just like taking what they had in the first game and just expanding it. Because the first game you really like, you have the sling the whole time, and then you know that is your main weapon. So it was like really kind of different and exciting to change it up in this game with having the crossbow. I was definitely curious to see what was going to happen to the macula now that Hugo is dead. Like, was it going to just be reborn and spread to a new carrier? So now that we kind of have that confirmation that that is what's going to happen, and Amicia has decided that that's what she's going to go off and do, is she's going to go off and like try and be a kind of a guide for the new carrier and their protector, which I think that's just amazing. I love that. Like that's where her journey is going, and she thinks she can make a difference even after everything that she's been through and everything that's happened. She hasn't. She's still fighting against it, and she still feels like she can make a difference. And I just think that's so, I don't know. remarkable. I love that about the ending. I think what I really admire as well about Hugo's character is how he goes from the beginning of the game to being so scared of the macula and in pain and everything, but he was aware even like back then of like how the macula was following him around, how he was causing things to happen, he was causing the rats to come, he was causing people to die, and he was kind of, he was always very aware of that and felt very guilty about it. And I think that his kind of development through the whole second game, like his attitude towards when he knows that he's dying, when he's talking on the ship about how he knows he's gonna die. Is there another scene? What is this? This sounds like modern. Modern day. I hear high heels and there's like hospital sounds and there's a macula and it looks like a baby. What was that scene? Knight's trophy earned. What is that trophy? It was a secret scene after the credits. Orders crossbow. You've received a special paint for the crossbow. Go to the extras menu to equip it. And New Game Plus. You can now create a new game slot on a special difficulty level with all codex, upgrades and skills obtained on your last playthrough. Interesting. I wasn't expecting that secret scene because there was a sound of hospital machinery, and then there was the sound of clicky clacky high heels. So that sounds like it's some sort of modern day. And the macula's still here. Oh God, that's terrible. Oh no, the macula's still here. Oh my God, what a bombshell. Learning that is just like, that's so sad. They never stopped it. So like even though the end of the epilogue, Amicia's going off to help the new protector and the new carrier. And it still survives. The macula still survives through to modern day. It just never goes away. Can it be stopped? Can it be stopped? Shocked at that scene. What did I just see? Okay, I'm going to go back to talking about my thoughts on the game and try and not dwell on that last scene too much because that's frightening. That's really scary. Yeah, anyway, I was talking about Hugo's character development and how he accepts the kind of fact that he's dying, and he always is thinking about other people, how other people are dying because of him. And then he kind of goes through that angry stage where he's like, killing the bad guys and protecting Amicia when she gets overwhelmed and outnumbered, and then, calling the rats to kill for him. There's so many things driving him to lose control. And then by the end, he's, develops into the final threshold, but he knows what he has to do. Like, he knows that he needs to die to save everyone. And I don't know, there's something so sweet about that. There's always been a thread of that in his character, always, about how he's hurting other people and his kind of acceptance of knowing he was dying. And then his attitude at the end was just so calm and like assured, and like he was like, this is what has to happen. That whole scene where Amicia has to change her way of thinking to break out of the vision, and just such a key moment of like Amicia having to let go of what she's been fighting for this whole time. Like the whole time, that's like one track mind is she's protecting Hugo. And yeah, I don't know, it's such a powerful way of having that kind of moment of realization through Hugo's talking to her in that weird kind of vision, and then her realization that that's what she had to do. And just thankfully we had Lucas there. Lucas, the friendly face, the constant thing in her life. And I think that's why I'm so emotionally attached to Lucas. It's because he's always been there, and he's always kind and helpful and smart and knows the answers to things. And when Amicia's kind of early on in the game, when she's kind of having panic attacks and having all of these issues from all of the trauma from the events of the first game. You know, he's the one who's there pulling her back and kind of centering her and grounding her and reminding her of her like morals and like what's right and what's wrong, and yeah, just keeping her from losing control. And then and he's always, you know, been so sweet to Hugo and Beatrice and everyone, and just, yeah, he's just such an important character from the first game as well. So I just like have that attachment to Lucas. And in the second game, I mean, like, Amicia really has lost everyone at this point, and I'm just so happy that Lucas survived for her to have someone. And it's also really nice that we have a new friend in Sophia. I wonder actually what happened to Arnaud. I wonder where he's at. Like, what's he up to? What's he doing? I've been thinking a lot about the character of Beatrice, the mother, and how she's kind of, you know, you're never really emotionally attached to her, I don't think, as a player. Well, I'm not anyway. Because you don't really ever spend that much time with her in the first game or the second game. She didn't have as big an impact on the events of this game, really. She was definitely more there for kind of, you know, kind of a catalyst for certain big changes, like when she's so adamant about going to Marseille and Amicia is so adamant about following Hugo's dream, and then they, you know, that's a source of conflict that causes Amicia and Hugo to go off on their own. Like, that was a big catalyst for that to happen. And then the second thing was the big emotional kind of catalyst for Hugo to go, you know, go to town on the Count and the Countess and call all of the rats on Cuna, and yeah, after she dies. So like she had kind of important part to play on moving the story forward, but like as a character herself, I just still don't really have any kind of real connection there, I suppose. And then comparing it to the first game, if you played the first game, or you've seen playthroughs of the first game, then you'll know that kind of the mother is very much a stranger at the beginning to Amicia, almost, like, because she's always like working on her research and stuff like that. She doesn't let Amicia and Hugo really see each other, because Amicia and Hugo at the beginning of that game are practically strangers because they never see each other. Throughout the first game, there's a lot of focus on what the mother was working on, what the mother was researching, her involvement with the order. Is there a possible cure for the macula? What is the macula? Like, that was all kind of a mystery shrouded, and that was very much tied to her. You know, her backstory. It was like, oh, my mother was involved in all this, but she kept it a secret from me. I didn't, you know, was discovering all of this stuff, and you're kind of thinking like, wow, what does the mother know? Like, what is she up to? Is this kind of source of intrigue? And yeah, like, her character felt more important kind of in the first one almost. And in this game, her character just kind of fell a little bit flat for me. I don't know, maybe you felt different. Maybe you liked her character and were more sad about it when she dies. But for me, I was very mad about it. I was angry because I was like, why were they killing her? But I wasn't sad. How they introduced the new characters of Sophia and Arnaud and their kind of gameplay styles. So like, Arnaud was really fun because he was like a big shield. He could fight people for us. So I really enjoyed that chapter when we were going through across the beach and stuff with Arnaud. And getting him to fight everyone was just hilarious, and it was fun, and it was just like really nice to feel like, oh yeah, we can take on these heavy armored guys now. And then Sophia introduced the prism of light with the distracting technique and the prism of light. So that was a new way of kind of moving around from light source to light source. And also Sophia's boat, like, it was so much fun to be able to set sail and go on her boat and see the beautiful scenery out at, you know, on the horizon out at sea. They obviously introduced the crossbow in this game, which definitely came, I was maybe expecting the crossbow to be there earlier on in the game. But I loved how that worked. I was always curious about how that was going to work. Loved how that worked. I loved how it was really powerful, but then you only ever had like a couple of bolts, especially near the beginning. bolts were very scarce. So like it was super powerful, but you had to be careful with shooting it with your aim. And then towards the end, like when you had those kind of bigger fight scenes, they left loads of bolts like lying around so you could like get them and use it, like, which was really nice, because I do like when, you know, you can just use a cool item and you have enough ammo to like to use it properly. I really liked the variety of enemies in this game. So they had like range guys, melee guys, but they had different types. So they had the archers, they had the spear throwing guys, they had the regular helmet guys with the axe, they had the fire throwing guys, they had the shield guys, they had the big like complete full plate armor with the, what's that called, the flail, whatever that's called, those dudes. They had, I think that's everyone. Yeah, so they had quite a few different types of enemies, which definitely, it worked so well when they threw them all at you together at the same time, because that's when you're really like, okay, now I have to use this technique to kill this one, and I have to quickly switch and use this technique to kill that one, and then I have to quickly run away from this one and get behind cover before the ranged guys get me. So I thought that balanced really well. Like, I don't know, I found it challenging enough and definitely got a bit ragey at some points. Let's talk about the rats. The rats were like so much bigger and more scary, and I mean, not the individual rats, but the amount of rats in this game, like they upped it from the first game, and they even like just upped it from the beginning of this game to the end. Like, you know, you play the whole game and then by the end you're kind of thinking, oh, I've seen so many rats now, and like rats taking over cities, and like so many rats that you can't even comprehend how many there are in front of you, and all of these different kind of rats' nests and stuff that we've been in. And then towards the end they give you that like disgusting like rat's nest with the green fog and the sacks of rats that burst out at you when you go by, and you're just like, I didn't think that it could get any just more disgusting, but it really can. So yeah, I thought they did a fantastic job of making the rats like just bigger, better, more horrifying, like more of them, and just feeling just epic, like epic. Yeah, and then there's some mechanics that I noticed that they didn't use from the first game. So like in the first game, you have these torches or these lanterns that you can kind of swing around, and you have a directional light that you can move, so you can trap the rats, you know, in rooms or in doorways and stuff like that. They didn't have that in this game, so it's interesting. I was wondering why. I wonder why they got rid of that mechanic. Or, oh yeah, and the other thing that they didn't have, that I was expecting the whole game, I was waiting for the rat tornadoes to come. So there was like little swirls of rats that would cluster together and come at you in these swirling tornadoes, and you'd have to shoot them with ignifer to break them apart. Like that happened a lot in the first game, and they didn't have any of that in this game. So, and I was kind of playing the whole game waiting. I was like, sometimes when we were in the rat's nest, I was like, this would be a perfect place to have rat tornadoes. So I was like kind of like expecting it, but it never happened. So they didn't use that again. I think maybe because they used it so much in the first game that maybe it would be like a bit overdone. Getting through the rats, getting around the rats, it was made different by having the crossbow, because then you could shoot the crossbow bolt with the ignifer on it to light up an area. Oh yeah, the introduction of tar in this game was really interesting, because that was new, that was different, and it was just kind of cool how that worked, where it could slow enemies down if they walked through it, or you could just like throw a puddle of tar and then ignite it and burn them all to death. There was a lot of burning people to death in this game, I have to say, which was quite satisfying. I think at the beginning of the game, it was so much more stealth focused that I was kind of having a harder time in those big areas with lots of enemies. And then as the game progressed and you kind of had more ways of dealing with enemies and you could be more aggressive and kill them and stuff, like that's when it kind of clicked a bit better for me. So I liked it when it kind of opened up a bit more from just being like sneaking around the enemies to actually being like, oh, I can actually do stuff now to them and attack them back. And yeah, I like that a lot. the whole area of Cuna Island was so different. Exploring it and all the beautiful flowers and everything, and then seeing it kind of like deteriorate was really, really, like, I don't know, terrifying, I suppose. It was so scary to see such a beautiful, colourful place get completely destroyed by the rats. I'd love to know what the Countess was doing employing slavers, by the way, because that kind of never got really fully explained. Like, we know that Milo and the slavers had been working, they used to be employed by the Countess. So I don't know what she was doing with them, what they were doing for her exactly. I really, really enjoyed the story of Basilius and Aelia and kind of following in their footsteps and finding out what happened to them. There was definitely that sense of mystery, intrigue, curiosity, dread as well when we were learning about them and what happened. And finally going underground and finding Aelia's skeleton and then finding Basilius himself was just a kind of an amazing, epic, horrifying moment. And I just really, really loved that story. And oh boy, do things take a turn when the Count and the Countess see you again and decide that they're going to take Hugo for themselves, kill Amicia, kill her mother. Oh, it was very, very satisfying killing the Countess with all the rats. And kind of weird, that whole story of how he had made up the whole kind of religion to save his wife, like, from despair, and gave her this thing to kind of latch onto and give her hope. Yeah, so weird. But then she kind of saw herself as the mother, and yeah, I mean, it made sense then when she realized that Hugo was the important child, the child of Embers, that she would want to take him and be his mother. But creepy, and well done. I think the downfall of the whole island was well done. Just that contrast of like it being super happy and bright to being like, oh, it's actually full of people who want to kill you, and is completely destroyed by rats now. One other difference I noticed between the first and the second game was the lack of a big final individual boss fight. So we did have an end fight kind of with the Count, but it was more about like fighting all of the other guys while Arnaud fought the Count. Really, that was kind of the final battle that we had. Yeah, so that was very different and actually much preferred this game for the ending, because the one thing I didn't really like about the first game was that ending, or not the ending, but the boss fight. Yeah, again, I don't want to spoil anything in case you want to play the first game or you don't know what happens. So, but yeah, there's a little bit of a difference there between how they kind of had a final encounter in the first game and how it kind of all went down in the second game. So I definitely preferred how they did that in the second game. That's kind of all I can think of to talk about right now. But yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments about the game, how it ended, the whole story. What about that last post-credit scene? What does that mean? What does that mean? Will there be a new story? Will there be another Plague Tale ever? And who will it be about? Will it be about Amicia going off to help the next carrier and protector? Or will it be set in the modern day, which would be very different? Thank you so much for watching, everyone who's watched and commented and let me know your thoughts and insights into the game. Thank you so much. It means a lot to me that, people care about this. And I would love to talk about this all day long. Because, yeah, I just love this game and I love the first one. And just, yeah, it scratches that itch for me. I just love it. So thank you so much for watching. And yeah, I guess the next series that I'm going to be playing is Shadow of the Colossus and also Resident Evil 1. So I think I'm going to be playing Shadow of the Colossus first, probably, and then Resident Evil 1. So I hope you can join me in those playthroughs as well. And yeah, thanks so much for watching this playthrough of A Plague Tale Requiem. I can't believe it's over. Like I waited for this game to come out for so long. I was anticipating it, and like I remember getting it and getting the actual box actual, you know, case. I'm being super excited that I had this, and recording the first episode. Fantastic game. Definitely recommend playing this one. Definitely recommend playing the first one as well. Oh, my little heart. Thanks for watching.